All right, there we go. Echo gone. All right, okay, been a bit down. That's why I've been really been. Hey, no worries about it, man. I don't. Honestly, you could be testing, but it's. I don't think most of it's working pretty well, so I wouldn't even worry about it. I haven't had a single thing come in from that I've seen that has quoted any complaints about any level 5 features. Um, there's just been a couple things that have just been a couple things that have just been like just like typos, weirdly, like how like I think someone was using a great axe that had a 1S on it and it should have been 2S, which was weird. But other than that, I think it's in pretty good shape, and I'm looking forward to it. But anyways, you get to be the first one to see how this works. So I'm going to start recording in a moment, as soon as my wife is done brushing her teeth, so that I don't have that all over my recording. But yeah, the solo adventure mode, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be great for people to try some of these DC20 adventures, even if they're not ready to, or if they don't have like any games that they're able to play. It can be a great spot where they go and do that. Because basically, especially these like shorter ones that are just one-shot magazines, those would be great to kind of play test and test around a bit as soon as all the features are in. I've really been honing in on getting the first scene of Shade Willow. So Shade Willow will be the first one done. It's only 3 scenes long, but it has a lot of the basics in it. And so once, it has as the skill challenge, it has the combat, and then the real test will be Trouble the Tradeway, which Trouble the Trade. Oh yeah, you want to see him? You want to see the pup? Say hello, Archie. He's like, what's going on? Why are you waking me up? he's all comfortable. But yeah, Trouble in the Trade. I don't know if it's Trouble in the Tradeway or Mithril Mines, but someplace has a social challenge on one of the modules. So I have to. That'll be kind of the last thing that gets figured out, because I don't think it's in either of the first 2 modules, and I'll come out with them in order as they get worked out. So, anyways, we ready for a quick show off? Oh wait, hold on. Let me show you this real quick. This is something my wife got me. I don't know if it's in the screen. Haven't figured out where we're gonna do with it yet, where we're gonna hang it. But it's pretty cool flag. Pretty cool flag. DC20 Forge. Let's go. Okay. Anyways, time to record. All right, jumping into the recording. Hey guys, I'm the Nerd Doctor, here to diagnose what's wrong with your RPG games and here to help you fix it. Welcome to my new apartment. So finally moved in, so updates with 10.5, moved into the house, still got some renovations to finish, but a lot of the things that have just been kept me so busy and bogged down, keeping me from doing the live streams, is not in the way in this moment. So, but this is something I've been working on in the background, and it's, I obviously put a halt to it when 10.5 update came out, but I've had a lot of people interested in doing, merch. I've had a lot of people interested in doing like a solo adventure, and I've been really trying to figure out how would I best do that, because I've played around with some of those AI DMs before, and they just never hit the mark. They're not, they don't work the way they're supposed to. I just think the sandboxy style is just not gonna work very well. But there's a structure here in DC20 and a structure in DC20 Forge that can work really well for it. So I'm gonna show off just a little bit of my progress today and just show you kind of where it's at, show you how it's working, and set expectations low, because it's not perfect. It's not meant to be sandboxy style. This is meant to guide people through a DC20 adventure. If you do not have a DM or you do not have a group and you want to play DC20, I am working on a way for you to play the modules on your own, get a sense of how play works, get a sense of how playing some adventures here and there, and so it'll be really cool when it's fleshed out. I know they're not made for solo players, but what'll inevitably happen is, like, when you start a solo adventure, you'll be able to do it through the campaign page, so you can track your progress, what you did, get some order, like you can, especially when it gets to the longer campaigns, when you need to keep track of NPCs and locations, everything, it'll help you keep track there. It'll also invite you to create basically 3 monster card versions of sidekicks that are your level. So they won't be, they won't have the fully fleshed out character sheet that you'll have, and you won't have to build them like your character, but you will have some stuff in there that will allow you to basically assist you on your adventure, because the combats are built for a party of 4 for the most part. But anyways, let's dive in. So let's start with the first prompt. So let me get over there to that. Okay. So let's start this adventure. So this is the Shade Willow, level 1, 3-scene, 4 if you count resolution, but 3-scene adventure. I'm just going to take you through part of the first scene, or rather, I'm going to take you as far as this correctly goes. Let's see how well it does. All right, so starting the adventure, some short load time, and if you've got your PDF out for you, then you'll be able to see, this will be the first read aloud text you will see. So the Shade Willow is a great tree that defends the city of Sabrilla from the dangerous heat and wildlife of the surrounding desert lands. Its massive sprawling branches reach wide across the city, provide not just shade, but physical and magical protection from the unforgiving lands as well. However, the great tree has become sick. It is now wilting. Nearby creatures can sense the oasis of Sabrilla is now vulnerable, and they are coming. The city's strongest adventurers are sent out daily to protect the city walls, fight back the monsters, and then there's a group of lowly adventurers who you are tasked with running errands for Master Alchemist Felon, who is the high conservator of the Tree Keepers. The Tree Keepers are those who see to the health of the Shade Willow. Their ultimate task is to keep it alive for the safety of Sabrilla. Your task is simple. You must gather ingredients for the antidote to cleanse the Shade Willow before the city succumbs to the intense heat and vile creatures of the desert lands. Cool. That's probably the most amount of reading I'm going to be doing. But you all approach the great tree, instinctively looking up. You feel a great sense of awe as it towers over you. A doorway carved into the tree itself leads to the alchemy lab inside. Everyone please describe your character. And you, this is obviously made like word for word coming out of the textbook, or out of the module book, digital book, PDF, whatever you want to call it. But if you have a whole party that you've kind of assembled before this, you can describe everyone. I'm just going to say, I'm the Nerd Doctor. I'm the Nerd Doctor. Can't type. 6 foot, 200 pounds, red hair, green eyes, red beard. It's one of my characters. There. Prompt is in, or my response is in. Let's see if it's doing what it's supposed to. Okay, so standing around a dimly lit and messy alchemist lab, you see Felon, the master alchemist. He is a tall man covered in dark brown fur, has long ears, and wears thick glasses, partially burned robes stained with all sorts of goop and sap. The flustered alchemist scrambles around looking through scrolls and vials and finally says, "Do any of you know anything about plants or killing bugs?" And I'm going to say no. I don't know anything. Maybe killing bugs, but I'm just going to say no. I'm just going to go there. All right, Felon, in a nerdy tone, the tree is dying. I'm not going to act it out today. The tree is dying from willow blight, and cure must be created and applied to its heart. I need you to get me the ingredients, and then I will hand over the cure to more competent adventurers. Sounds like a good level 1 adventure. You're not expected to save the world, so here we go. Here's what I need and how you can help. I need holy water from the pond in the sacred grove, blightweed from the Thieves Guild, Kepfer salt from the Salt Quarry, honey from the Gloom Wasp Keepers. If you're better suited for battle, then you should focus on defending your allies from blight mites. I need you to get 2 of these items while I handle the rest. Which 2 will you pursue? Okay, so I am simply going to do a, I'm going to do defend out. These are the ones that are done. Defend, done. These are the ones, defend my allies and retrieve salt. All right. All right, so you've decided to defend your allies against the blight mites while also gathering Kepler salt. This choice shapes your course of action as you prepare to face 2 different challenges: fending off swarms of blight mites and navigating the dangerous salt quarry for the precious salt needed for the antidote. You rush out of the lab and into the city that's now swarming with blight mites. You must collect the ingredients and get back as fast as possible. What do? I stick close to my, sorry, I take lead. I take lead facing off against any blight mites. Oh, did I write that right? No. Mites that cross our path. Attacking any in my way. All right, let's see. Okay. This is kind of a test at the same time to see how well it does. But as you take the lead, your determination lights the way forward. The swarming blight mites, sensing your presence, comes at you in waves. The scorpion-like bodies glimmering in the light, you prepare yourself and focus on defending your allies while engaging these pests. Ready to strike back at the creatures, roll to make the attack check against swarming blight mites, DC 12 roll. Now, I don't know if I really want it telling me what the DC is, but I'm going to go ahead and make it attack. No, it's hard to see. It looks like a 6. Nope, it was a 14. All right, reroll. So DC 20 plus 4, 18 total. Nice. Hey, that's a 5+. Let's see if it is actually able to get the gauges of success, because in that would be an extra success point. So a success 1, I think, is good, and then a success 2, you get extra bonuses at the end of this little skill challenge. So your powerful strike manages to fend off blight mites, creating a path for your allies to advance unharmed. You rolled an 18 on your attack check, which is successful. Each successful defense against the swarming mites increases your reputation among your fellow adventurers, keeps them motivated. You gain a success point for this encounter. Cool. Now with the immediate threat handled, you can gather the required Kepler salt. Let's proceed to the salt quarry and retrieve the salt. You arrive at the salt quarry, a dangerous underground mine where slugs of salt are rumored to be hidden. The cave is dark, the ground is uneven, and you can even hear faint sounds of water dripping from somewhere within. Be careful, as the tunnels can be unstable. Inside the salt quarry, you'll need to navigate the treacherous terrain to mine some salt. You find the precious salt, you have to make a skill check. You can use awareness to look for slabs of salt, athletics to swing a pick to break them off, or survival to get in and out safely while avoiding cave-ins. DC 10, 12. TC for this challenge is 12. Okay, let's take a look at my skills here. I like awareness. I've got the best out of mine, so I'm going to go with awareness. So I will make an awareness check to find salt and keep my eyes out for possible cave-ins. All right, let's see if it calls for the check. Does it call, or should I have just clicked it? Okay, so it didn't call for the check, which I think is it should have. I think the problem there was that it asked too much. Let's see if this helps. You rolled a 12 on your awareness check, meeting the DC. Okay, so little mix up there. Like I told you, not going to be perfect. Your keen eyes scan the dark cave, and with your focus, you manage to spot several slabs of salt hidden along the walls. Salt quarry. Carefully, you navigate the treacherous terrain and collect enough salt without triggering any cave-ins. With this task complete, you're now ready to head back to Felon's lab to deliver your findings. Having gathered Kefir salt successfully, you must decide what to do next. Would you like to attempt to help defend against the blight mites again, or move on and return to Felon? Let's just return to Felon. But not bad. It's not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. Yo, you should let me give your voice samples. I'd love to voice the NPCs. That way those play this have voice acted dialogue. It's a later feature to kind of incorporate the AI where it can do like voices and stuff like that. That's one of my aims for it long term, is like not to have to type prompts, but be able to have a conversation with it a little bit anyways. But great work. I have plenty here to work with. Yes, in fact, I have so much I can make you something else. Sweet. So you receive 1 vial of Shade Willow antidote and 1 healing potion for each of you. Additionally, you gain more rewards based on your success on this challenge, plus more rewards based on additional success points. Okay. Okay. This is about where I've stopped, because the reward stuff is a little bit tricky. Because again, it has to keep track of your success points. So if we were keeping track, excuse me, we had 1 for mining the salt, and we technically had 2 for defending our allies because we had a +5 success. So technically the total should be 3. And I know that 3 is like a D8 help die to use, basically. Okay, what are the additional rewards? Let's just see if we can figure it out. We barely have enough. See, okay, so, and this is the tricky part is it should obviously success, either it reads the success text or it reads the fail text. And this is about where I've stopped, but this is the end of my little show off series. It doesn't get through scene 1 yet, but that's what I'm working on. It should reward me with the success. Obviously, the orange text is just giving you information. But that's going to be converted into green text where it's like actually narrating and not just, here's what's going on. Like, 'cause obviously, like, that's not super immersive or anything like that. But before I can get to narration and let it being creative, I need to be strict on it and make sure that it's like, are you following this path? And to answer your question, yes, this is railroady. You're following, not only are you following a module, but you are following a module along with an AI that if you've had any experience playing with AI, it's like, what are you like half the time you're just like, what are you talking about? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But that is what we've got so far for the solo adventure mode. Plans for this. Here are the plans for this. Number 1, finish the Shade Willow. I need to get the Shade Willow done because that covers like 80% of the prompts in moving someone forward through an adventure. That's number 1. And it has a map, and I obviously want to figure out a way to use that and like combat. So like getting combat done and being able to use a map that you can interact with in this solo play mode is kind of the ideal, because it does come with a map. And then once that's done, I'll move on to Trouble on the Tradeway, Escape from the Mythal Mines, Creeping Covenant, and so on and so forth. The Hunted, I do have The Hunted. It'll come out next month in digital books, not in solo play mode, but I will try to, my aim is to get out an adventure in solo play mode each month. Next question that you might have for me is, okay, what are some different things we're looking at? I already talked about like having a way to speak with it versus type, because this will have a campaign mode. Maybe you want to do these adventures as a part of a campaign. Maybe when I know that Coach is coming out with a 3-part adventure, which I think is going to expand levels 1 through 10. I'm not 100% on that, but if you got a level 1 through 10 adventure, then you want to be able to track that. You want to be able to save your progress, and then come back in and resume and do that. So those are some of the big things I'm aiming for there. Being able to play with multiple people in solo play mode. and I might be changing the name to DM-less pay mode or play mode, because maybe you have a few people who want to play, but you don't have a DM. So let's be players and let's do this and let's play this adventure, and let the AI just kind of run us through it. Now, is this going to be as cool or as fun as playing an adventure at the table with a DM with your friends? Obviously not. This is meant to be something that, because not all of us have access to DMs or friends. Friends close enough by to play, or friends who are always in the same timetable. It's not easy to get to a table. So this is meant to be a way for people to come in and or even just test DC20. You don't have anyone to play with to test DC20. We want people to come in and test DC20. We want people to come in and play it, see how the mechanics work. These are great adventures for that. They kind of introduce the concept of module building that Coach likes to run. So they're very structured in a great way for this AI process to work. So that is some of the main goals for this. Again, having some NPC partners, sidekicks in here to help you with combat and stuff like that. It might not be, like, they might only be in combat is how I'm thinking they'll work. But we'll see, you know, like AI gets more and more intelligent all the time. So I may like build into longer adventures like downtime. Like, do you have any conversations with any of your NPCs? Obviously, like I said, campaign tracking those conversations, tracking those relationships and everything like that. So that's what I'm working with here. What's great about this is obviously this is right next to your character page. So I know it's a little squished in this particular view, and I'll work on that. But you have access to the full rule book from here. You know, you have access to other rule books from here. So if you need to look anything up while you're playing, you can do that. You've got access if you're playing in a combat, and again, I don't know yet how this is going to run in combat. It's going to be really cool to play with, but I'm excited for it. I see a lot of potential in it, so I hope you guys do too. Again, that is all I have for today in terms of this recorded video that I will be posting, so to get some people's feedback. And as soon as the Shade Willow is done, I will start releasing it to playtesters. Starting with my Patreon supporters, you will get first access to playtest and enjoy. So if you don't know where to find me on Patreon, well, guess what? If you're on DC20 Forge, it is right here at the bottom. So if you enjoyed watching this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, I'm the Nerd Doctor, here to diagnose what's wrong with your RPG games and here to help you fix it. Stay clever and play smarter. All right. There. Done with recording. Okay, you don't need AI. Let me voice act. It would be a really fun project for me. Hey, by all means, do you want to give us some voice samples? I can have the AI learn your voice. No, no, I'm totally open to ideas, Liam, for sure. So if you want to like go in and record yourself saying any of these lines, like these quotes by Felon, then I'll find a way to incorporate it so that it reads it off for the player. But that would be cool. That would be cool, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But what do you think of this so far? How does it look to you? You're the only one who get to see it today. But what are your thoughts? I think it's just you anyway. I thought if I did it earlier, some other people might still be awake, but maybe I was wrong. Badass will do. Perfect. Glad to hear it, because it's I'm not gonna lie. I had to get very creative for this, because training the AI was initially the biggest freaking headache, and because it would talk in loops. Like I would get it to like for the longest time, like it says it started. Let me show you. So like where it started is it's supposed to start right here with this big paragraph. The shade willow is a great tree. Where it would constantly start for me is you all approach the great tree, and I'm like you're missing a text box here. Read the text box. So then once we were here, it was like it would read here. I describe my character, and then it would skip the standing around the dimly light, read aloud text, and go right to what he was saying. So I was kind of talking in loops initially when I was working with the AI, and then I figured out a better way, and that was to just kind of structure everything in blocks and start work flowing it. Like start here, here's your must reads, here's your improv, here's your blah blah blah, here's where you stop and wait for a player prompt. I think it's really good for those who have trouble getting a group together. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. And I didn't want to say it on the live stream, but the other thing is, we got over almost 500 free users, right? And I'm thinking that I'm going to make this available for the player tier, the adventurer tier, versus the DM tier, because that might encourage a lot of people to be like, hey, I can spend $5 a month and $5 for an adventure module to play by myself and enjoy that. Like that seems very reasonable to me. Like because right now the only thing that really drives people to adventure mode, because if you're a player, you can be free and play with a DM, but if you don't get to play with a DM, then there's not really a lot of benefit to having adventure mode, because it has all these custom builders. But again, unless you're actively playing a lot and you're interested in custom builders, there's just not a lot of drive for it. I think I have as many free tier, I think I have many adventure tier as I do Forge Master tier. So if I can drive that adventure tier up, like make that more engaging, more interesting, I think it'll drive that up. Also, I know you have a lot going on, but I would really like to get our play of the Hunted going. I'm kind of getting tired of building DC20 and want to really actually play it. That's a fair point. So in this, and I will make this a priority for sure to get you, Onyx, and I think it's Kaibo and Lion, who were all on that level of like play tier for a moment. So I will prioritize that. What I have to get through right now is my cousin's baby shower this weekend, and I have to get through this renovation like first, because I'm spending pretty much every weekend like working on the house, because we're over budget on labor, and so which means that basically like to get it back to budget, we have to work on a lot of things ourselves. So that's where I'm at there. So before I can like schedule that session, but I do have the Hunted now, and I will have the Hunted digital book out for June. So because I'll put a pause. I'll probably finish the Shade Willow stuff. Hopefully within 2 weeks. I think I'm pretty far. I think it's just once I get through ending the first scene, it's just combat at that point, like resolving combat. But as soon as I get it to, and it's so close to ending the first scene, because it just needs to go, okay, success path, fail path, stop doing both. So it shouldn't be long. But I appreciate your patience on it, and I do apologize for putting it off. But I promise you, I will make that a priority as soon as this renovation's done, and we can breathe, because we're just feeling the pressure of budgets right now. And if I can get this off the ground too, then that creates a lot more wiggle room for me, because it can, if it drives a bunch of but if it drives a bunch of our free users onto adventure tier, that could make a huge difference for me. But where are we here? But you want to do the hunted. Okay, I was going to run the initial like novice levels of my module with you. But if you want to do the hunted, I haven't even looked at the hunted yet, to be honest. I mean, not the new one anyway. I saw the new hunted. I saw the old hunted where it was just like not really an adventure, more than a guidebook. But I'm interested in seeing how the hunted gets played. Awesome, look forward to it. Sorry for the short conversation, but must get back to work. No problem, man. Probably gonna be a short stream for tonight because it's just you and me, and that's okay. That's completely okay. I recorded the video I needed to record, and that'll be posted. But have a good night, man, and we'll talk soon for sure. All right, I'm gonna wrap up the stream.